So I'm going to start with you, Ian. Firstly, congratulations. You're here, you've done it. You've won the Volvo Ocean Race for this edition. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it when people say those words. I first heard them when I did a live X on board with Sky News, and the presenter said that. And I said, well, we haven't got there yet. I mean, obviously it's an amazing feeling. It's, you know, so much hard work goes into it. I was thinking, when my whole relationship with the Whitbread race started, was as a kid with pictures of boats on the wall, and I remember walking down the dock in Hamble and asking Laurie Smith if I could possibly look at his boat one day, and I remember going out to watch the start, and then I remember the first time I ever sort of sailed a keel boat, and I remember when I did my first Volvo race 2 races ago, really wasn't sure whether I would be up to it, but you know, what was the Southern Ocean really like? Lots of self-doubt. And obviously it's been a long old road, and a lot of people have helped me. We've made a lot of mistakes, we've learned a lot of lessons, and I think this time around we've sort of put all of that experience in place, and I've surrounded myself with good guys, and I don't know, I kind of haven't really processed it all yet. Obviously we're happy. I can't wait to see my family. They're not here. I think only when I sort of share it with friends and family will I really appreciate it. Right now we're sharing it with the team, and it's nice to see smiling faces.
What was the reaction from your family when you phoned them? Because we haven't actually spoken about that in the press conference, because you hadn't actually called them last time I spoke to you about this.
Yeah, no, I haven't called them yet. That's right, their kids are at school. We'll wait till they get back from school. I mean, I guess it's been of a long time coming, because Lorient, we sort of won it, but we hadn't, and it's kind of been a little bit strange, but yeah.
So it's been described in the media as the greatest ever achievement for the UAE sporting campaign. What has the reaction been back home?
Well, I've had some pretty nice texts from the Director General, and I can tell you the sailing team are all jumping on a plane to Abu Dhabi on Sunday to present the trophy to the Sheikh. And I've seen a lot of the media, and it's a big deal. You know, the UAE as a country is only 42 years old. And I think probably the biggest thing recently was Manchester City winning the Premier League. So you know, it is a big deal. They're getting a lot of coverage, and a big part of what we're trying to do, a bit like Charles with Dongfeng, is trying to promote sailing in the region. And there's you know, the biggest thing we could do is to win the race, to try and get young Emiratis to want to go sailing. And so hopefully, obviously winning the race was our performance objective, but hopefully that will now enable a lot of other stuff to happen. So that's going to take time.
And last question from me, where do you go from here?
Well, right here.
not right here.
I can't answer that.
Bed. But where do you go from here?
Well, other than Abu Dhabi on Sunday, you know, the job's not done. We've got to, there's a lot of work with these programs, working out what's going to happen next, and I think actually my next appointment is rescue boat duty at junior fortnight with my kids. So I'm going home for the summer. My kids want their daddy back.
Did you honestly think that this was going to be a possibility coming into Gothenburg, the final leg, when you first started this campaign? Pretty epic.
Yeah, you know, it was a great, you know, finish for our team, for sure. You know, the guys did an unbelievable job, and you know, it was funny in the first half. You know, it was a real benefit to be ahead. You know, and you know, we kept extending and kind of got to that, excuse me, hour and 45-minute lead that we had in The Hague. But then in the second half, there was a lot of compression. You know, so it was really nerve-wracking, and we were just trying to do just enough to stay ahead. And you know, when we got to the finish line, it was just enough. You know, coming up the river was pretty tricky, and you know, it was a great result for our team. You know, testament to kind of how far we've come, the work we've put in. I think we've proved that we're a threat, you know, to some of the good guys, and you know, we saved the best for last. As far as expectations, you know, having never done it before, we didn't really know what to expect. So you know, to end like this is really amazing.
So looking forward to the import race on Saturday. Of course, Matt Frey and you and Alvmedica are tied on points now, coming into Gothenburg. Does that put extra pressure onto the team? I'd quite like to ask this to both of you and Ika, if that's okay, about the pressure going into Saturday. Do you feel that pressure, or is that something that, of course, as top of your game, you're excited about?
You know, it's tough to say. You know, right now, you know, we're just kind of thinking about the accomplishment, you know, that we just achieved, And I think we'll try to enjoy Gothenburg for a couple days, and then we'll refocus. You know, we got a good look at the race course on our way in. You know, it looks really tricky. You know, a lot of stuff could go down. But yeah, you know, the race clearly still isn't over for the two of us, and I think, you know, we'll continue to fight to the end.
Ika?
Pretty much the same, yeah. We saw today that, I mean, sail inside there is difficult, and these guys, they won the last inshore race, so now we have a chance. We thought that we don't gonna have the chance 15 minutes before we finish the leg, and now we have the chance, so that's better than what we thought, or than what we were expecting. So we'll see. We will try to fight and have a nice race. No, that's it. That's important. Many times we're doing races, and the objective is not something exciting. For this weekend, we're gonna have a very exciting thing, isn't it? Like fight each other and try to be fourth. So I think we're gonna feel lucky not to be able to do an inshore race like that.
Maybe I could just. The transfer market is open. Adam Minopi, our former match race world champion, is available maybe for one of you guys. Hey? Chip a little bit in, he might be yours.
Punting your own sailors.
We have his pitman. He made Adam what he is.
Okay, Bauer, since you chipped in, let's go with you next. Congratulations on your second place overall in this edition of the Volvo Ocean Race. Amazing. When you entered into The Hague, the support there was incredible. Do you think that just energised and charged the team to be able to come in second on leg 9 and then also, of course, secure your overall second as well?
Well, it was just amazing to come back home in The Hague. I think we sailors are always pretty down to earth, but just the enthusiasm and just the recognition, and even like guys like Rokas, for example, he's from Litauen, all the kids and everybody just know him. So it was just a really nice thing for us being normal sailors to see how much the people actually have been following the race. So when we left over there, I said there's only one thing we can do for everybody, be following us and supporting us. Just give our best and just try to overtake the guys who are ahead of us and finish second, because they deserve it back home.
So this is your 7th Volvo Ocean Race. I'm intrigued, how has this edition changed or differed in comparison to the other races that you've done?
Well, I think first of all I have to say thank you to Knut, he's standing in the back over there. He and his team, I think, if we wouldn't have had the one design, I think the race would have been in shambles. And I think probably our team for sure wouldn't have been here. But I think as well, just from the sportive side, I loved the race. I think it was the best racing I ever did in the Round the World race, because the racing has been so close, it's been very intensive, a different style of racing as all the previous campaigns I've done. But I loved every minute of it. So yeah, it's been a great experience. I still love my first one, but this one is equal second.
You must be absolutely overwhelmed and chuffed to be able to say that you have secured that place on the podium.
Oh yes, for sure. It would have been very difficult for us after the race we have done to leave the podium. We've been on the podium since the beginning, and so yeah, we were really stressed, especially me, I think. But we did well. We managed to come back and to keep this third place. So we are very happy today and very proud.
So you said to me, I think it was in the first press conference in Alicante, my memory is not that great, but I think it is the first press conference in Alicante I asked you about becoming a skipper, and you said that it was important for you as a skipper and as a man, this campaign. How do you think it has kind of changed you, and what changes can you see in yourself now that you've finished?
I didn't know if I could do it, to be honest, so I'm very proud I did it not so bad. So that's the first thing. I feel happy about that and to manage to do it. And what I'm very proud is to have managed to keep everybody together, to keep the same crew and have no problem, no human problem. That was my first goal. And to manage to sail with the Chinese and keep a good spirit with this guy, because they are a fantastic guy. And even if the competition came and sometimes we are a bit stressed by the competition, I think we managed to stay nice with this guy and to help them. And but they have been also fantastic, and every day they prove us. And before there was the Chinese and the other one, and now we are both. So we are a team, and we are all sellers. Some are from Sweden, some are from French, and some are from China, but they become sellers. And 1 year ago, 1 year and 6 months ago, they have never sailed offshore. I think they are the rookies of this race. They did a fantastic job.
And I know we talked about this on the dock, but just for the media here, do you think that you have achieved your goal by leaving a legacy in China?
I hope so. I think the best thing we did for sure is to win the leg in China. That has been fantastic for in China. Everybody speak about that, and I hope that new young guy will want to do the same job that has done Horace, Wolf, and Black, and Keith and Leo during this Volvo, and because if they want to become a great country, a major player of sailing, they need more sailor, and I hope in a few years we'll see a Chinese skipper sit there instead of me.
Now, the tagline of this edition of the Volvo Ocean Race is "Life at the Extreme." And I think that you encapsulate that with your campaign and everything that you've been through. So sitting here in Gothenburg, in the press conference at the end of the race, does it seem, I hope it does, but does it seem like a massive, massive achievement just to be here as a team?
Yeah, I think it does. As a team, I just can't thank everyone enough for what they've endured and what they've gotten over to get here. It really was far beyond what anyone thought could happen in this race. And you know, it's all the teams I've been part of. This is the one I'm most proud to be part of.
What is it, do you think, that is unique about the Volvo Ocean Race?
Well, I've always said that it's one of the toughest events that you could do, but and I think it is the fact that it tests people to their limits, and each race for me has been different. You get tested in different ways, and you have to learn and adapt and do all those things, and this one's been epic in regards to everyone being tested in all sorts of areas. And it's really cool watching how people step up and deal with it, and it's why people come back. I'm sure it is.
Okay, thank you. Sam, so you brought your team and your boat home. I mean, what a reception out there, the Magenta Army out in strength.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, SCA is a Swedish company, and they promised us a huge welcome here into Gothenburg when we brought our boat home for the first time. This is the first time we bring her into Sweden, and so yeah, it's a pretty proud moment for the whole team to bring our boat home and to show everyone what we've done, to meet a lot of people that we haven't met before that have been following us for the last 2.5 years, supporting us, sending us messages, and yeah, it was incredible. So coming up the river, there were people lining the river from start to finish with pink banners, pink smoke in the pouring rain, pink umbrellas. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
It's Magenta.
Magenta, sorry. Magenta. I still haven't got that right.
Ka-ching.
Should I have some more of this?
Sorry. So you set out at the beginning of this campaign, SCA set out at the beginning of this campaign to prove that women in the sailing world, in the offshore sailing world, can be equally as competitive. Do you feel that you've achieved that?
Yeah, I think. I don't think we set out to prove that. Not us on the boat, anyway. We set out to compete in a race and do the best we could. That's for us the most important thing, and we're competitors like everyone else sitting along here. And yeah, in doing so, maybe we'll inspire people and motivate people to do things that they didn't think they were capable of doing. I think other women have done that before. We're following a path that has been created by some amazing women previously in many different countries. But I'm pretty proud to be part of that, and I think everyone on Team SCA, all the girls, we all watched some of the, I guess Tracy and the girls on Maiden, that when I was at school, that was what I watched in the Whitbread, a bit like Ian, in the Whitbread Around the World race, winning the Southern Ocean leg, and that's probably why I'm here right now, is because they showed me it was possible. So yeah, if we can keep that going, then for sure that would be great. But for us on board Team SCA, that's sort of the second, and the first is to be competitive, do the best we can, and learn and be proud of what we're doing.
That a really important leg with really important ramifications between you guys, especially of the Volvo Ocean Race, was decided in a 200-meter wide river. And I know you were frustrated at the end of the leg. I wanted to know what you thought about that, and whether that's sort of where this race should be going, is more and more of that kind of playing to the crowds and less of the kind of racing you're used to in life.
I've done already 6 Figaro races, and sometimes you finish always like that, and sometimes you can lose. I already lost 3 hours in 1 mile, and this race you win it by time, it's not by point, so it's crazy. For sure, I think we should change that. We are doing an offshore race, and it's not normal that something changed on the last minute like that in a tricky place. Sometimes we make mistakes, like in Lisbon we made some mistake. We lost 1 point, but I think this time we were really unlucky, and Mapfre come back with a big gust and nothing we could do. So, and we could have lost the third place on the podium, only 0.5 miles from the finishing line, just because we are in a place where there is no wind. So I think this is something to change in the future, because we are doing offshore racing, not inshore racing. It's not the Olympics. So I don't think the result of such a race should be defined by this situation. That would have been terrible for us.
Can I just, I had a chat with my guys about it, because Charles got bitten twice with a finish like that. I still think it's great for the public that you can finish inside, but I agree with Charles, you can finish outside, and my idea would be you do a finish there, that's a leg finish, and then there is 1 bonus point for the guy who finished first. So you still race all the way in the river. If somebody gets overtaken, he gets that 1 bonus point. Knut, just an idea, but I think just to add the feeling what we sailors feel about it. It's not probably always, you've been fighting for hours, days in a row, and then you get passed by stupidity maybe.
Okay, thank you.
I think the same also. I know it's important, but I understand why we are doing this. But...
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Matt Sheehan, Yachting World. Question for Ian. Ian, it's been a surprisingly light weather event all the way around, and so I guess you haven't had the stress of howling gales up behind you all the way around. But it looks like it's been very, very intense as well, because the competition's been closer. Is that how you felt? I mean, has it been mentally draining as opposed to physically draining?
Look, what do you think? I had a full head of hair at the start of this race. Yeah, I mean, I think it's been amazingly light, and last race was the opposite. Last race we got nailed leaving the Med, and we got nailed leaving Auckland, we got nailed leaving Cape Town. It's the weather, right? Anything can happen. This time round we're actually quite fortunate. We had a couple of tropical storms that we managed to skirt, and the race organisers wisely delayed us leaving Auckland, despite my protestations at the time. It sort of saved us from ourselves. The Southern Ocean even, we really didn't see more than 35 knots. We only had one sort of really bad storm, I guess, which was off of Argentina. So that's the weather. It's just the way it falls, and you could do the same course, the same time of year next time, and you could get nailed every which way you go. So it has been light. It has been stressful. I think AIS adds to that a lot. It's amazing how when you get out of AIS range of other boats, the stress disappears, because you can't see if you've lost 0.2 of a mile, or you can't see if you're going 0.2 slower, so you therefore can't care about it. Life gets a lot more relaxing. I remember leg 1, we didn't see another boat most of the leg, and we had a great old time. So certainly in these shorter legs, they're far more stressful because you're sort of in sight and in range of the other boats a lot more. But yeah, one design, the boats stay closer together. It's so important. Every point is so closely fought. As you can see, as rightly been pointed out, every single team has won a leg if you include leg 0, which is incredible, right? I'm sure that's never happened before. That shows that every team has the potential to win the race, and therefore everybody's stressed if they're not, and sometimes if they are.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Anja. I'm working for different radio stations in Berlin, Germany, and I have a podcasting channel called Ocean Amp, and that's mainly what I do this for. Sam, since you are the only female team, how does it feel to be between all those men?
I don't know how it would be any different. So once we're out on the water, we're competing just like everyone else, and for sure we've struggled to have the experience that the guys have got, because the Volvo 70 was a physically difficult boat for women to sail, and the rule that didn't allow more people on board, more crew members on board, made it that it just wouldn't be competitive. And now, thanks to Knut again, he had I guess he had that in his mind when the new rule was created, and that's allowed us to come and be competitive. But it's been a long time since any women have been doing this race, so we've done our best. We've trained a lot. I think now we're just starting to feel like we can be up there with the guys. The last few legs, we've managed to get some boat speed, a little bit more. Every leg we're improving here and there, and we won into Lorient. That was a huge confidence booster for us. So yeah, the women thing is more on the shore. Being asked questions, we have a lot more interest from the media and the public, and that's great. We have a huge fan club, I think, who cheer us on because we're a bit different. But once we're out there on the race course, it doesn't change anything. The boats are one design, so we can't change anything. We do have more crew members. That does help us because physically we're not as strong as the guys individually. And but yeah, I don't know any different. And for me, it's just amazing to be able to compete in this race. It's the opportunity of a lifetime to do this for all of us, and to do it at the level we've done it. And we're still learning. I can't believe how much we've learned in the last 2.5 years. It's incredible, and we are proud of what we've done. And I just hope that there is another women's team in the next edition, just to carry on what we've done and everything we've invested. Otherwise, the level will drop down again. So, fingers crossed.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Alan Block sailing Anarchy for Bauer. 7 times, more than half your life, roughly, something like that, and a lot of great finishes, but never the big one.
For sure, more miles on the water than in the car.
Way more. But you know, like a lot of people who dedicate their life to something and never receive the ultimate prize, it can be hard to put down. Do you really think you can put it down? Like you said, you probably will in Scheveningen, and go into a different role for maybe another Dutch team, or will you have to be back, or you won't be able to die a happy man?
Well, I think it's the same for everybody sitting over here. You know that as well, racer, you being yourself. If you want to race, you want to win. But I think, especially when you're getting a little older, at one stage you can accept as well when somebody else is going to win. And that's what happened over here. Abu Dhabi was just a better team than us, because otherwise they wouldn't have won. You have to accept that. We changed our plan then, and our aims, 2nd place, and I'm hugely proud of what we achieved. I always said we can look ourselves now in the eyes and say we did the maximum of what we could do with our team, and we're really happy with that. And I think that's just you have to relax and sit back. Next week I'm going to sail a World Championship. I want to win that one. No doubt about that.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Yes, John.
First of all, Ian, many congratulations on a fantastic achievement. Could you paint us a picture of what was going through your mind when you crossed that line? Was it thinking about the fact that this was a race that was born in our country, in Britain, in a pub in Portsmouth, and that some great British skippers have taken part, and none have won. Was that a factor? Did you think about Abu Dhabi? Did you think about the first leg in the last race, the first day in the last race when you had to come back? What were you thinking? What went through that mind of yours?
I was thinking two things. First of all, stay inside the channel markers so we don't get penalised. And the second thing, I'd had an email suggesting we hoist Adel up the mast with the flag. And I was just hoping that he wouldn't fall out of his harness and land on the deck and ruin the whole day. They were my main concerns. I'm in a funny kind of mood. I'm sorry I'm not more excited than I feel like I should be. Maybe it hasn't sunk in yet. I guess at the time we're just trying to get across the line, make sure we've done everything right, and I'm sure I'll look back on it and savour the moment. I didn't think about British sailing history, I'm afraid, and I don't know. You think about people who are close to you, you think about your friends and family, and people who can't be here to share it with you, who maybe you'd like to have shared it with, who aren't around anymore. But that's it.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
All right, this one's for Nico, because you got to watch a little more of the race than the other guys. The AIS thing, for the educated fan, the AIS thing was a huge deal. It changed the nature of the race in very fundamental ways. There's been lots of chatter. Do you increase the bubble? Do you get rid of it altogether? Do you just make it, you can see everything in real time? What's the solution to make the racing the most interesting, not only for you guys, but for the fans around the world, especially the more and more educated fans that are coming in and learning about the race from all the nice, great OBR media that you guys are putting out, and then they're becoming great fans?
Well, I haven't been subjected to the AIS as much as everyone up here, but the bits I've seen of it is, I think it is a bit frustrating when you're just staring at the screen, and it's not just myself and the navigator, it's all the crew taking their turns, going to the halyard tunnel, looking at where the competitors, what speed they're doing, or something's wrong. It's like, I'm sure there's some smart people out there that somehow can write some software where we don't get to see each other on the AIS, but you get to see ships get to see you. There's got to be, I think there has to be a way around it so that the racing gets a little bit more opened up again, but we still maintain the level of safety. So, I don't think anyone's too keen on this amount of information from everyone else.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Oh, hi. Sorry.
It's Anya again. Ian, or I could actually ask everyone else, why did you decide to live a life like that? Why did you decide to become a sailor and live your life on the ocean?
I can answer.
Yes.
Because the reason sat right here, my mum. My mum and dad, I come from a sailing family, so I was brought up sailing was every weekend, every summer holiday. And my mum and dad taught me to love the ocean and to be safe on a boat, and I'm not sure if they regret that now or if they're proud. But that's why I'm doing what I do.
And what do you love about the ocean? What is it?
A good question. I think it's not just the ocean, it's a competition as well. When you're a competitive person, then that's the best of two worlds, and this kind of racing, ocean racing, we're some of the planet's last adventurers as well, so there's competition, high level. In Volvo Ocean Race you can't get, just look at the level we're racing against, you can't get a better race, and to sail around the world, not many people have the chance to do that, to go around Cape Horn. We're one of the lucky group of people that still have adventures to live.
How many days of a year do you spend in the water, on the water?
In the last 2.5 years, probably most of the year, nearly every day we've been on the water, especially with Team SCA. we were based in the Canary Islands, and we knew we didn't have the experience. We knew we had to learn how to maneuver. When we got together, some of the girls had never used a winch before. We'd go out sailing at night, and one of the girls on board would turn around and say, "Oh, this is the first time I've sailed at night." So we had a long way to come, and we have been sailing every day. In Lanzarote, we were based there for a year and a half. We would sail 6 days a week. Sometimes we wouldn't even have Sunday off, and we'd just sail. So I can't even count how many days. You could probably better count how many days we've not been sailing in the last 2 years.
Okay, thank you. Just before I go on to the next question, did anybody else want to answer the original question of why you started to sail? Why you chose this life? Oh, okay. Next question.
Hi, I'm Eva Layo, Spanish Media Manager of the Volvo Ocean Race. I wanted to ask Sam, and now that you've completed the round race, do you think having three more crew members on board is a good solution for a female team? Because there's been talk that you were dragging more weight, also that having just two pedestals, like the other boats, maybe it didn't enable you to use the power you were carrying on the extra power you were carrying on your boat. And then second question is, have you held on to your Saint Christoph many times in this round the world race?
Check it's still here. Yeah. I think for the first question, yes, it has helped us, even though the guys can get 6 hands on the grinders. I don't think it's very often that they manage to fill the pedestals as much as we do. For sure, if you look at me compared to the guys sitting around me, we're not the same size. Men and women are different, and so to be physically equal, we do need to have more hands on board. I think then there are advantages and disadvantages that have to be weighed up, and the advantages, the extra hands, we've got extra people, so especially in legs like this where it's very, very tiring, we've managed to rest people a little bit more probably than the guys' boat, so there's an advantage there to get a bit of extra rest, have fresher people on deck. Then, you have the question of weight. Are we carrying more weight? It's a question we've asked ourselves a lot, especially in the light legs we've been doing. And I think it's something now, the rule doesn't say you have to take 11 people either, so I think in a future women's team, you'd probably think about which legs you'd sail with all 11, and maybe you'd take less on some of the legs. But definitely in the imports, it's good to have 11. I think the guys would agree.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Last one, I promise. This one's for Charlie. You had a great opportunity from Roy Disney that you then you and Mark, and turned into a career. And this race. And you've had a lot of obstacles. You've done great, but you've also seen your hometown explode with support and one of the best stopovers, and certainly a bigger interest in sailing than we've seen in America in a long time. Far bigger numbers on a per-day basis than the Cup, even. Do you then go now and become an ambassador? Are you going to help our country continue to stay up there? Or, like Sam says, if there's no women's team next time, does the level drop back down again like it's been for the past decade or two in America?
It's pretty heavy.
Sorry.
Ambassador, yeah, there you go. There's a nice ring to that.
Something for president.
Yeah, president, ambassador. No, I mean, I'd hope so. We set out to do, a couple things, one of which was to grow ocean racing in the United States, and we were afforded a great opportunity, and we did our best to capitalize on it, and like you said, I think the Newport stopover speaks to, some of that success. It's funny, just looking at some of the pictures of regattas that have been happening in the States since the stopover, there's like orange caps everywhere, it's pretty cool. And, if we can inspire a next generation, if we can inspire other groups of Americans, that's great. But ambassador, I don't know about that. That sounds like a retired job. I think we'd like to continue sailing. That's our passion. That's what we do. That's what we love. And, if afforded the opportunity, we'd love to, improve, really, on this race. It's a stepping stone. Each leg we learned so much, we couldn't wait to start the next one, and I think there's so many things in this race, if we only knew, we'd do slightly differently. We came in very inexperienced, and we're are proud of a lot of our accomplishments, but there's some things if we just tweaked a little bit, you know, we feel like we could have, you know, done a great deal better. So, ambassador, I don't know. You know, I'd like to continue to be a sailor for now, for certain. But yeah, you know, if we had a small part, you know, in helping just a small group or a couple people, then I feel like we've accomplished at least one of our goals, for sure.
I'm now going to just ask one last question for you all, and then we're going to close the press conference here in Gothenburg. Can you each tell us your top highlight of this edition of the Volvo Ocean Race? Nico.
For sure, it was our second place coming back from Lisbon to Lorient. You know, like at that stage, I was hoping just for the boat to be reliable enough to get to the finishing line at the other end, and second broke all expectations.
Thank you, Bauer.
Clearly the pit stop in The Hague, what the people have pulled up over there and the amount of crowds, the departure, that was the highlight for me.
Thank you, Ika.
Well, I think I have to one the starting line. That was because we were at home and because it was looking very difficult to be there. And the other one for sure the finish in New Zealand. No, I was not on board, but the team won there, and that was fantastic.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
It's tough to say. I feel like every day is its own highlight. You know, it's all new to me. But you know, rounding Cape Horn, you know, in the position we were able to round it in, that was a biggie. You know, winning in here, you know, they say you're only as good as your last race, so we'll take it for now. And you know, but really for me, it was sailing into Newport. You know, Newport is where I grew up. It's where I started sailing, and you know, a place I feel has deserved to stop over for a long time. They work hard. It's a feverish fan base, and for me to be able to be home, you know, during this race was a big deal for me.
Thank you, Ian.
Obviously, holding the trophy with the team on the dock. That was before they threw me in. That was a high point, but before that, it was rounding Cape Horn. You know, rounding Cape Horn was a highlight of my whole sailing career, really. You know, you don't often get to see it. You certainly don't often get to see it on such a nice day. And fighting close for the lead with Charlie, and everyone had smiles on their faces. It was a pretty special moment. And thankfully, because there was a helicopter, we got some great photos of it too.
Thank you, Sam.
I've got a couple. Winning into Lorient, obviously. Rounding Cape Horn. And then coming in here, which is home for our boat, with the same team we started. Not one single change. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Okay, thank you. And finally, Charles?
I think winning the first inshore training was just fantastic for us because, and I should say the winning in China, but the winning in Newport was just fantastic after the breaking last and the fight with Abu Dhabi makes the first place really fantastic, and not rounding Cape Horn. But Ushuaia was quite nice also. It was a real adventure.